Hello there, and welcome to my show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak for May 21st, 2020. And today we celebrate Strawberries and Cream Day. So I'm going to share some photos of mine from Cambridge University in England. In England, they have like strawberries and champagne, kind of a event. I guess that's like a garden party thing. I bet a lot of people in Cambridge are missing that because right now, because of COVID, nobody can have a strawberries and cream party or strawberries and champagne party. But anyway, one can reminisce. And so we will do that today. Um, and also, we're going to talk a little bit further about my theory that COVID-19 is a next generation biological weapon created by China in order to destroy United States of America as a superpower. Obviously, it's a theory, but I believe that there's enough evidence to prove that to be true. And so bear with me and hear some of the evidence that I have and see whether you agree or not. So let's go to the daily death rate. Um, and we see that the death rate is remaining above 2,000, above 1,000. So yesterday it was around 1,500. It's a little bit less, but still it's above 1,000. And it's between 1,000 and 1,500 range. So yesterday, the total death rate in the United States of America was 93,416. Today, the total death rate is 94,702. So it looks like we're going to pass 100,000 either this weekend or next week, but we're definitely passing 100,000. And that should be of a concern to you because we have steady death rate in the United States of America. It's over 1,000 every day. So in 30 days, we're going to have 30,000 people die. If it's at 1,000, if it's at 2,000, we're going to have 60,000 people die. And United States is opening up, which means death rate will rise. As you know, we've been closed for a long time. And the death rate we have now, which is above 1,000, that's the case despite the fact that we've had our country basically closed until now. So that should be of concern to you, to every American citizen. And it's a serious problem because other countries are not experiencing this. If you think that COVID-19 deaths are ubiquitous, meaning that it's occurring everywhere around the world, then you are absolutely wrong. COVID-19 death is concentrated in the United States of America and in Western European countries and in Brazil, which is our closest ally in South America. So the question is, why is it that COVID-19 is killing mostly America and America's allies in Europe and Latin America? So that should be a question that you should be asking, that every American citizen should be asking right now. Because COVID-19 is not killing everybody in the world. It's only killing us, United States of America, Western Europe, our NATO allies, and Brazil, our closest ally in South America. It's not killing that many people in Asia, as we've seen the figures yesterday. And you can see the video from yesterday. COVID-19 Update by Heerak is a daily show. And I would encourage you to watch it every day because there's something very strange going on around the world. And we need to understand what that is, why things are happening the way they are happening. There's a reason for that. And so I would encourage you to watch my show every day, because you probably saw the town hall today in CNN. They are not even beginning to discuss issues that I had begun to discuss weeks ago that are relevant to United States of America and to your survival. So why is it that CNN does not discuss what I'm discussing when it is so obvious? You can see it. You can see there is a pattern that is very strange. So why is CNN not discussing this in any of their shows? Well, as President Trump says, CNN is fake news, and we can see that CNN not discussing what I'm discussing shows that they are fake news. And I'm going to discuss something that is obvious, but it seems to be escaping the radars of liberal media. And that is perhaps because they want to protect socialism, they want to protect communism. That may be a reason. There is a communist tendency toward liberal intellectuals. And that's always been the case for the past decades, many decades. And so a lot of journalists self-proclaim to be liberal progressives. And liberal progressives, that's a euphemism for basically Marxist socialism or communism. And that's unfortunate that it has come to be that way. And that would make sense that CNN and other liberal media are trying to hide the fact that there is a global discrepancy in the death rate, and that this may be due to the fact that COVID-19 was created in China's labs. And I am arguing that it was created intentionally to destroy the United States of America as a nation and as a global superpower. And I'm going to submit to you my evidence today, as I've been doing, because I think you as American citizens need to know the data that exists. Numbers do not lie. Why should you not understand the data? Right? The data exists, and data explains some reality that we need to understand. In terms of confirmed cases, it's relatively staying the same between 20 to 30,000. So yesterday we had a total of 1,551,102 cases. And today we have 1,577,140 cases. So out of all the cases there are, about 6% of Americans are dying. Unfortunately, in Alabama, they said they only have one ventilator left in one of Alabama cities. So when hospitals run out of ventilators, you have to expect death rate to go up, because sometimes ventilator is only is what is keeping you alive. So that's happening in Alabama all of a sudden. Nobody heard about it, but it's happening suddenly. And that's why I'm saying President Trump should not send our ventilators anywhere outside of America, because death rate will go up as our country opens up. It's just rational and logical that the death rate will go up, and it's going up all over America. And in states like Alabama, they're running out of ventilators. And that's going to happen with all 50 states. And that's why we should not be giving anybody our ventilators until we're done with COVID-19, because we have to prioritize America first in saving American lives. We're nowhere close from finishing our defense against COVID-19. All the experts are saying this is going to go at least 2 to 3 years before vaccine is developed, if they're ever developed. Most scientific experts now doubt that we'll discover a vaccine in the next 2 years. I personally think that it's a waste of money to be spending so much money on a vaccine, because scientists are saying that there's really no chance we're going to get a vaccine in less than 2 years. So I disagree with President Trump's policy of spending so much money on vaccine. And I disagree with Prime Minister of England, Boris Johnson, spending so much money and energy on vaccine. Because this is, I would argue, a misplaced hope. It's like chasing after a dream. There's a 1 in a million chance that we may have a vaccine in 2 years. I mean, winning the lottery may be easier than finding a vaccine that works in the next 2 years. And ask any scientist if I'm wrong. Most scientists believe that we're not going to have a vaccine in 2 years. I mean, they're saying the fastest we will have it is like in 2 years, but we don't even know if it's going to be effective. It may work a little bit, it may be a little bit effective, but largely ineffective. Most scientists do not believe we're going to have a 100% effective vaccine by 2021. So to spend so much money and energy and put so much hope on vaccine, I, Heerak Christian Kim, running for US Congress in Virginia's 8th District, would say is the wrong way to go. As you know, I have been saying that we need to focus on things that we can actually develop, like a respirator. And I've been saying that for a long time. The chance that we're going to develop a vaccine in 2 years is less than 1 in a million chance. It's harder than winning the lottery. So I would argue it's smarter to presume we're not going to develop a vaccine. Obviously, we want to develop a vaccine, but most likely that's not going to happen. I'd love to win $1 billion on a lottery, but that's not going to happen. Well, it can happen, but the chances are very low. Same for you. You probably want to win $1 million or more through a lottery, but chances are you played lottery for 40 years and you haven't won yet. Some of you might not even have won $2 with all your tickets that you've bought. The fact is this: COVID-19 is a virus that is acting very strangely. No scientists to this day really understand what COVID-19 is. They're discovering new symptoms every day. They're saying that it's not just a pulmonary disease, it could create cardiac problems. It could create this problem, that problem. They're coming up with new symptoms practically every week. New problem from COVID every week. It's not acting in a way that is expected of viruses. And that proves my theory that COVID-19 is not a natural virus, that it's a genetically modified virus. So I put to you another evidence, and that evidence is the fact that we seem to be having new symptoms. COVID-19 seems to be attacking all different organs. It's not a respiratory virus. People don't know what it is. Experts don't know what it is. I would argue that that itself supports my theory that it's a next generation biological weapon created by China in a lab. Because when you create something or modify an existing biological organism, through genetic modification, you're going to have something that's not going to act normally. And that's what I am saying. And there are others who think that this was created in a lab. But what sets me apart from all those others who have said that this may have been created in a lab is that I'm saying that this was intentionally created as a biological weapon, intentionally by the Chinese government, intentionally to destroy the United States of America. So it was created as a biological weapon. It wasn't an accidental creation. It's an intentional creation that was created by a communist dictatorship with the purpose of destroying the United States of America. Exhibit number 2, COVID-19 is not killing the Chinese. It's not killing the Koreans. It's not killing Asians because China created this virus as a weapon to kill Americans, Europeans, and American allies. And that's why it's not killing other people. If this were a natural global pandemic, it should be killing everybody fairly equally. In fact, it should be killing people in third world countries more because they have less healthcare, less medicines, less ventilators. How come hardly anyone's dying in third world countries, even though they don't have ventilators? Right? I mean, doesn't this seem obvious to you? Obviously strange that third world countries without medicine, doctors, nurses, ventilators, they have less death than we do in the United States of America when we have number one healthcare system in the world. We have the best medicines in the world, best pharmacology companies in the world. We have the best nurses in the world. We have best doctors in the world. We have best hospitals in the world. We have best infection control in the world. How is it that we have all these deaths and third world countries do not have any deaths? Is that rational? Is that logical to you? How come CNN is not pointing this out? It's like they're blind. These CNN news broadcasts, they're like blind as a bat. And that's why you need me, Heerak Christian Kim, to tell you things that are obvious, but it's being missed by the liberal media. And that's why I believe that my theory that COVID-19 is a next generation advanced biological weapon makes more sense than the CNN sprouting off and saying this is a global pandemic. That doesn't make sense. Because if this were a global pandemic, a natural virus, then this should be killing more people in third world countries where there's no medication, that there are no nurses, there are no doctors in many of their towns and villages, but they're not dying. They're not even self-distancing or isolating or quarantining, and it's not spreading there like it's spreading in America. Why is it that? Because it's a biological weapon that was genetically modified to target the genetic makeup of majority of Americans. Chinese put a lot of research into it, a lot of money into it, a lot of expert brains into it to develop this highly sophisticated biological weapon in order to be number one in the world by destroying its competitor, the United States of America. Do you know how much brain power, money, and effort we spent to create the atom bomb? And that gave us a strategic advantage in World War II, which allowed us to beat Japan. They said without the atom bomb, we might have lost that war. In the same way, we need to look at COVID-19 as a biological weapon that has given China a strategic advantage. Right now, everybody in China is working. They're mass producing everything from face masks to cars to cell phones to computers to hangers to socks, pants. They're producing everything. Their economic system is running like a finely tuned Corvette, running on 8 cylinders or 12 cylinders. Everything is being produced in China right now. Because this is a biological weapon meant to destroy our country. COVID-19 isn't affecting China at all. It's not setting its education system back. They all have their schools meeting. Everybody's going to school in China right now. There is nothing out of the ordinary in China. Students are going to school, everybody's going to work, everything is running like it should. It's like a normal day in China. Now compare that to America. Look at all these deaths. In the last 24-hour period, we had 1,286 people die. China has what, 0 people die? Korea has what, 0 people die? Or close to that number? Don't you think that's strange? This is why you need me. I'm the only one saying this is a biological weapon that has targeted America to destroy us so that China can be number 1. Have you heard that from anyone else? Now, I'm presenting you fact after fact. This is not just haphazardly half-cooked theory. I'm studying the data. I'm studying the numbers. I'm studying the patterns. I'm studying what scientists are saying. I'm studying the development of COVID in the way that symptoms are developing. And I'm making my conclusions based on evidence. And I'm presenting my evidence to you. Are you telling me that this is just a normal virus? Then why isn't it killing people without medicines, people without nurses and doctors, without ventilators in Asia? How come all these poor third world countries do not have that deaths? It proves my theory to be correct, that COVID-19 is a biological weapon that was created intentionally by China, kind of the way we created the atom bomb to gain a strategic advantage. During Obama years, 8 years of President Obama, we have wasted our strategic advantage. We should have been developing biological weapons. In the process of developing a sophisticated biological weapon like this, we would have learned how to counteract such a biological weapon. Do you see what I mean? Our knowledge of genetics, genetic engineering, would have been 1,000 times more advanced had we not squandered 8 years of Obama trying to come up with environmental ways of saving the environment. It's a total waste of time. During 8 years of Obama, Americans wasted 8 years trying to save the planet. And what do we have to show for it? Nothing. Is environment better off because of 8 years of wasted billions of dollars on the environment under President Obama? No. We have not done anything to turn back the clock on any kind of environmental degeneration. No, it was a total waste of 8 years. All the money, all the environmental research, all the environmental engineering, that should have been spent on genetic engineering, biological engineering, weapons engineering. Do you think saving environment matters? Do you think 1,286 people die every day because there's pollution? Are you kidding me? People don't die because of pollution like this. People die because of an advanced biological weapon that we should have anticipated. During 8 years of Obama, instead of spending money on environmental issues, Obama should have spent money on biological genetics research, right? It's money wasted. Now, we are dying because we wasted money on environmental research. So all of you who've done environmental activism should be ashamed of yourself. You did not save the planet. Your research is completely useless, wasted, and now people are dying. You could have gone into biological engineering or genetic engineering. You could have saved all these lives. But you went to environmental science, environmental engineering. You wasted your life. You have wasted our money. You have done nothing for our nation. You have not saved people's lives. Your life is useless and meaningless, you environmental scientists. And now we have 1,286 people dying every day. We have class of 2020 without any jobs. Probably there's like 80% or more college graduates who graduated in 2020 who will not have any jobs. That's because of you environmental researchers, you environmental activists. You have wasted our time, energy, money. Now our country is about to be destroyed because you've wasted all this effort on environmental science, environmental activism. You should all be ashamed of yourself. Well, are you saving any lives through environmental science? What? Are you being vegetarian, saving anybody's lives? You being what? Vegan? Is that saving anybody's lives right now? You're useless. You vegans, you're absolutely useless. You vegetarians, you're absolutely useless. You have done nothing to save anybody's life. You might have saved some cows, a lot good that it's going to do human beings who are dying at the rate of 1,286 people per day in the United States. All you environmentalists, you should be ashamed of yourself. We need to vote all these environmentalists out in November 2020 because this is why our country is so vulnerable, because of these environmentalists. All these environmentalists should be ashamed of themselves. They're the ones who's leading our country into destruction. What? Stopping fossil fuels going to save lives? 1,286 lives? No. All your effort trying to stop fossil fuel is useless and meaningless. You have done nothing to save anybody's life. Your whole life has no meaning, no value. Your whole life's research on environmental studies, environmental activism, absolutely useless and meaningless. You have saved no life. This is why you should do genetics research, something that matters, not environmental science. Environmental science saves no one. How much has environmental activism in the last 30 years saved? How many people? Zero. Your research, your activism is completely worthless. And Democrats, that's all they care about, environmentalism, fossil fuel, blah, 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 blah. How many lives have you saved? Democrats, they kill more life than they save. They support abortion. They're killing thousands of little babies who are not born every year. And they talk about saving the environment. What hypocrites. If you're a Democrat, you should be ashamed to be a Democrat. Is Democrats such hypocrites? What, they want to stop fossil fuel for what? They're killing little babies through abortion, right? All these Democrat, liberal, progressive, they want to kill babies through abortion, right? They're fighting for abortion rights, reproductive rights. They want to kill little babies. They talk about saving the environment. What hypocrites. These environmentalists, they're big hypocrites. I have absolutely zero respect for any environmentalist. I haven't met an environmentalist that I have even little iota of respect. I respect no environmentalists because they're wasting their time, they're wasting their life, they're wasting the lives of Americans, and they're so liberal, they support abortion and killing little babies. They think they're so great. So great. You want to save the environment. We're going to let 1,286 people die every day from COVID-19. Shame on you. Every American citizen who is Democrat should vote against the Democratic Party in year 2020 in November to send a message that American workers' lives are more important than cows. These vegetarians are telling you not to eat cows. Well, they want you to die of starvation. Cows there to eat. Why shouldn't you eat it? See, these environmentalists, vegans, they have no constructive good. They have no value that they could add to society. You should reject all environmentalists. Anyone who says they're environmentalists, you should just reject them outright. What? Stopping fossil fuel saving you right now? Is stopping fossil fuel saving 1,286 lives? Is not eating cows saving anybody? It's ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourself for being a vegan. You should be ashamed of yourself for being a vegetarian. You should eat protein to be strong so you can fight COVID. There's probably a lot of vegetarians dying because they're not eating meat. You need protein in times like this. Eating meat is important. Yeah, you should eat meat. Those of you who are vegetarian or vegan, drop your act because you're not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping the environment. You're not helping the world. Vegans and vegetarians are just weirdos who are stuck on themselves. They probably have mental illness. These vegans and vegetarians. Why won't they eat meat? Isn't there something weird about that? We have all these mentally ill vegans and vegetarians running around trying to mess up our country, play with our minds. Yeah, reject environmentalism, reject environmentalists. They're harmful for society. And vote against environmentalists and against environmentalists like Joe Biden. They offer no constructive good for the United States of America. They do not save your life. They do not save the lives of your children. In contrast, Heerak Christian Kim, running as an independent for U.S. Congress, he is dedicated to saving your life. He's dedicated to saving your children's life. Don't you care about your children? You care about the trees more than your children? So that's the problem with environmentalists. They care about trees more than their own children. Now, look at the figures. The top 5 cases in Middle East. Turkey has 4,249 deaths total. 3% of all those who get COVID die. Not many are getting it in Turkey. You know how crowded Turkey is? Have you been to Turkey? I've been to Turkey. I've showed you photos from Turkey. Do you think Turkish people social distance? How come they're not getting COVID? How come there's only 4,000-ish deaths total in Turkey when they're not social distancing? Why? Iran, number 2. 7,249 deaths. That's peanuts compared to America. It's peanuts compared to England. How come not many are dying? How come not many are getting infected? Saudi Arabia, look at this. 351 deaths. Only 0.5% of the cases end up in death. Look at Qatar. 17 deaths. 17. Do you think everybody in Qatar is rich? There are a lot of working class, poor people in Qatar. How come they're not dying? 0.06% of the cases end up in death. United Arab Emirates, 237 deaths, 0.8% of the cases that end up in death. Not too many people are getting infected. Not too many people are dying. So there are 2 things going on. Not too many people are getting infected. Why is that the case? Do you think Americans are doing more wrong things? We've been in our homes because of the stay-at-home order. And still we have average of 30,000 people getting infected every day, new cases. And then we have 1,286 people dying every day or more. What? We're staying at home and we're getting infected and we're dying. And look at these Turkish people, Iranians, Saudi Arabians, Qatarians, United Emirates people. They're just walking around, moving around, not social distancing. They're not even getting infected. Do you think this is normal of a virus? And CNN doesn't talk about it, do they? Do you hear CNN talking about this? What I'm talking about here in my show? This is why you need my my show to stay alive. Because if it weren't for my show, you would not get the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. But lucky for you, there is COVID-19 update by Heerak to give you the facts. I'm giving you the numbers that CNN has. These are numbers you can Google. These are numbers directly from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine Coronavirus Resource Center. These are numbers that it's available to everybody. But how come they don't talk about what I'm talking about? Because I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. I see things that mere mortals cannot see. And maybe you haven't seen this either. And I point this insight out to you to help you and your children survive COVID-19. How are you going to survive something that you don't know? You cannot identify. Step one in anything is assessment. In the nursing process, assessment is number one. Without assessment, you cannot go into diagnosis. Nursing process requires assessment before diagnosis. So in the assessment stage, we need to assess what COVID-19 is. As you know, I'm graduating with a master's degree from School of Nursing and Health Studies with an expertise in clinical nurse leader. And that's what I will be in August, a clinical nurse leader, an expert in this area. And I'm being trained at Georgetown University to be a clinical nurse leader. So one of the things that we clinical nurse leaders do is think like clinical nurse leaders, like experts. And in a sense, what I am able to see and show you is a credit to Georgetown University's clinical nurse leader program. So those of you just graduate from bachelor's, you may want to apply to Georgetown's clinical nurse leader program. Deadline is generally like December or November. And there are 5 or 6 courses you need to take as prerequisites. So I would encourage you to take those online right now so you can apply to Georgetown University's clinical nurse leader program. Because you can become leaders who are needed in 2021 America, 2022 America. Unfortunately, United States of America may not survive COVID-19 because people are still talking about COVID-19 as if it's a virus. That's natural. If it were a natural virus, it should be killing a lot of people in Turkey, a lot of people in Iran, a lot of people in Saudi Arabia, a lot of people in Qatar, a lot of people in United Arab Emirates. Ask any expert of global pandemic if they ever had a case where the pandemic is spreading, but it's not killing as much in another country as in a country that's experiencing a lot of deaths. If you see the Spanish flu, if you see cholera pandemic, if you see malaria, whatever it is, wherever it goes, it infects everybody and it kills everybody in similar ways. You go from country to country, it's similar, but COVID-19 is not because it is a biological weapon. It's genetically modified so it doesn't act like a normal virus. But people don't want to talk about it. Well, you want to talk about it after the United States of America is gone as a country? We should talk about it now when the United States of America exists. We can still save the country. And that's why I'm talking about it in this show. And you're lucky because I am talking about it when no one's talking about it. President Trump isn't talking about it. Lindsey Graham isn't talking about it. Ted Cruz isn't talking about it. And these are what I consider intelligent people. Democratic Party, forget about it. They're not even close to even understanding this reality. They're so stuck up in there. Ooh, 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 let's save the cows. Ooh, ooh, let's save the environment. Ooh, oh, where's our solar panel? Like there are people, 1,286 people dying. Like they're talking about their environmental stuff, solar panels and windmills. For God's sake, get a perspective, man. These Democrats do not have perspective, and that's why you should vote them out in 2020 in November. They have no perspective, right? They're talking about windmills, trees, And fossil fuel when there are 1,286 people dying every day. These Democrats do not have a perspective on life. They don't understand what's truly important in life, but you do. I know you do. You want to live, you want your children to live because you know what's really important in life. You don't care about the trees as much as you care about your child. You don't care about fossil fuel one way or another as much as you care about your own life, your children's lives. I understand you, and you understand me. And that's why we have a connection here, right? And that's why you should vote for me for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District on November 3rd, 2020. I'm running against Don Beyer, and he has no clue what's important. He's supporting the environment. He's supporting the legalization of pot. There are 1,286 people dying every day, for God's sake. And when America starts to open up, because there's a necessity to have food and production of goods, more people are going to die. That's like an absolute certainty that people will die. And Don Barr is still talking about, oh, let's legalize pot. Legalize pot. You know, you see, Don Barr is just clueless. And that's why you need to vote for me, Heerak Christian Kim, for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District on November 3rd. The problem is Don Beyer and Ralph Northam, Virginia's governor, are playing dirty politics and trying to lock me out of Virginia's ballot box. See how dirty they are, these Democrats? They're trying to lock me out because I'm speaking the truth. I'm trying to save your life by pointing out the realities that exist. I'm just showing you the numbers and showing you why this is not a natural global pandemic like Spanish flu. Because Spanish flu killed people evenly. But this COVID-19 is targeting Americans, Europeans, and our ally Brazil in Latin America. It's strange. And I'm here to tell you what's going on. And these pro-China, Ralph Northam, pro-China, Don Beyer, they just want to shut me up. That's what they want to do. Because they're blinded by their liberal progressivism. They don't care about you. They care about their liberal agenda, Don Beyer and Ralph Northam. And they're just both millionaires just trying to protect their wealth. So they want to shut me up. Someone who cares about you, someone who is bringing you the truth, someone who created a whole show to save your life and your children's life. I'm an official candidate for U.S. Congress. I'm registered with Federal Election Commission, FEC. I registered in November 2019. And I'm an official candidate for U.S. Congress with U.S. House of Representatives, registered with the Office of the Clerk. But every state in the United States, they control the state's election process. So state laws govern election. That's why Virginia has Virginia State Board of Elections. Pennsylvania has Pennsylvania Board of Elections. Maryland has Maryland Board of Elections. Each state has their own Board of Elections, and each state has separate laws regarding how election is conducted in that state. And in Virginia, by state of Virginia law, I have to submit 1,000 signatures to be on the November 3rd ballot in Virginia. And this is Virginia state law, not a national law. It's the state of Virginia law. So, that's why Governor Northam can manipulate this political process to try to block me out of Congress. So when Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order on March 30th, to last until June 10th, he was making it impossible for Heerak Christian Kim to collect 1,000 signatures. He was targeting me. I'm the official candidate running against Don Beyer, and I've been very vocal about it since November 2019. I'm in the radar. I'm on the radar of Tom Byer. I'm on the radar of Ralph Northam as someone who can beat Tom Byer. And that's why they're playing dirty. I was running as a Republican until until February, and then I started running as an independent in March. And you can watch the video right after this video ends by clicking on the top video. There are two videos you could click on to see why I'm running as an independent. As soon as I start running as an independent, Don Byer, the U.S. Congressman, Virginia's 8th District, and Virginia Governor Northam, they're plotting and planning to block me out of the ballot box. So what did they come up with? The stay-at-home order to start from March 30th to June 10th, so that I can't collect the 1,000 signatures to be on Virginia's state ballot box. See how dirty that is? And I'm supposed to submit the signatures by June 9th. Yes, the deadline is still in the future, but when Governor Northam issued the stay-at-home order on March 30th, he made it so that it would last until June 10th, the day after I'm supposed to submit 1,000 signatures. Do you see how dirty these Democrats are? They play dirty because they know I can win. And Tom Byer is a chicken. He doesn't want to just fight fair and square. He wants to cheat. Tom Byer is a cheater. These Democrats are cheaters. Why can't Tom Byer just beat me fair and square on the ballot box on November 3rd? Why do these Democrats have to resort to this kind of dirty trickery? I'm just a humble man trying to serve you guys humbly. That's why I've created this humble show to deliver this humble information to you. What has Don Byer given you? What has Ralph Northam given you? Look at all that I give you. Because I want to serve you as your leader. I'm a servant leader. And I'm serving you now by giving this information that you and your family needs. So since I'm helping you, help me. Contact Don Byer, contact Ralph Northam, email them, call them, text them, write to them. Speak about this to your friends on social media, tweet this, and help me get on the ballot box. Because you need Heerak Christian Kim to be in U.S. Congress starting year 2021, because this COVID-19 isn't going away. It's not going away. It's possible for United States of America to be completely destroyed as a nation if we don't do smart things to save America. And look, Heerak Christian Kim has a great idea. Create respirators, because we have the technology to create respirators, but we upgrade them to the next generation level. So they could go to work, your children could go to school with these respirators that Department of Defense creates. And we could continue to work even though there is no vaccine, until vaccine is discovered. That is more a real solution to this problem than vaccine or cure is. See, how come I'm the only one suggesting this? Because I am the Leonardo da Vinci of the 21st century. This is why you need me in Congress to fight for you, to help you survive. What, you're going to put your hope on a vaccine that's never going to come to realization? What, we're going to have 1,286 people dying every day and thinking that we're going to have vaccine in December, we won't have a vaccine. In the past December, there was going to be over 1,286 people dying. What, you're going to keep thinking that there was going to be vaccine? It's like some cultic group saying Jesus is going to come back, sell everything you have, and then Jesus doesn't come back. We're kind of joking. Jesus is going to come back on this day, 6 months from now, and they tell you to sell more stuff. See, this is what cultic groups do. I don't do this to you. I tell you, there's a high chance we're not going to have a vaccine. So let's develop respirators. We have the technology to do that. So let's use our technology. To President Trump's credit, I respect President Trump. He did say, let's open up the country, vaccine or no vaccine. So he's being realistic. He's understanding that there's a chance that no vaccine is going to come to realization. He's not stupid. President Trump is smart. So he understands that chance for vaccine is very little, right? And COVID-19 is killing Americans. 1,286 Americans in the last 24 hours. It's no joke. These are lives who are dying. It's not just numbers. These are actual people. In 30 days, we're going to have over 35,000 people die at this rate. 30 days. So 30 days from now, we're going to have over 130,000 people dead. That's like end of June. Think about that. It could be you. It could be your children. The New York virus infected 3 children 1 week ago. Now, Washington, D.C. has over 20 children infected in 1 week. It's an exponential growth. Next week, they'll probably have over 60 people infected, children. It's going to keep growing. Well, you think you could open up your schools with this New York virus? What I'm calling New York virus, the mutated version of COVID-19 that targets children, is what I'm calling New York virus, because it started in New York. See, I'm giving you all this information because I believe that you need to know the truth. So only truth can set you free. Truth can set you free. But there are all this liberal fake news, liberal media that's trying to hide the truth from you. Why? They're trying to hide the truth from the working man, the working woman, middle-class Americans, working-class Americans. That's not right. And that's why you need Heerak Christian Kim and U.S. Congress to fight for you. You want me to help you? Then you have to help me. Help me get on that ballot. You have to find a way. Bombard Ralph Northam. Bombard the Democratic Party leaders, Democratic Party headquarters, with emails, phone calls saying, get Heerak on the ballot. Beat him fair and square. Tom Barr should beat me at the ballot box, not try to like play Old Boys Network and block me out of the ballot box. That's just wrong. That is not fair play. Is that fair? Does it sound fair to you? So make things right. Help me out here because I'm helping you. You should help me so I can help you. So I'm counting on you to get me on the ballot box in November. Now, today is strawberry and cream day. And so I wanted to share some photos from the strawberry, and it was actually strawberries and champagne. I guess that's more of a thing in United Kingdom. I guess, you know, among the upper crust. And there I am with my date, Rachel Saunders. Yes, you met Rachel Saunders before. I shared with you my prom photos from the Jesus College May Ball. Did you see that episode? If you didn't see that episode, go back and watch that episode. Every episode has kernels of truth that you can benefit from. So I encourage you to watch every episode. If you haven't seen some episodes, make sure you catch and watch them. So it'll help you. And also, obviously, you know, you get to learn about me a little bit more. You know, we're like family now. You see me every day. I tell you some helpful information that's going to save you and save your children's lives. I share a little bit more about my life. You get to learn about my life. We get to kind of live vicariously through me and visit all these exotic countries. Come on. I mean, like you're at home, but you're like virtually traveling everywhere with me through my show. COVID update by Heerak. And so you're very lucky that this show exists to entertain you and provide you with information and give you roadmap to life and salvation, so that you and your children will not die. I mean, how lucky are you that Hira Christian Kim exists in the world and has chosen to create this show to help you survive COVID-19? You're lucky and happy as a clam because I have created this show. And now you get to meet my date for this strawberry and cream party, garden party thrown by it's like a vice chancellor of Cambridge University who's equivalent to a president of a university like President Dwoya. I was looking forward to having dinner with President Dwoya because, I'm the vice president of Georgetown University student government, graduate student government. And generally every year, President Dwoya invites all the executive board members for dinner. I was like looking forward to that as the vice president of GradGov 2019, 2020. And so, yeah, so, COVID-19 took that away as well. Maybe I should write a poem about this. COVID 2019, 2020 took away this special dinner with Georgetown University President Dwoya. I like President Dwoya. So I was looking forward to having food, kind of, shooting the breeze with him. But yeah, I guess that is the way. Yeah, I'll definitely invite him to my inaugural ball when I get elected to U.S. Congress for his 8th district. And hopefully we'll have respirators by then so we could have a ball. Think about this. Do you see? If you have a respirator, you could have a ball, right? Because, if we could create a respirator that protects you like 100% or close to it, your children could go to school, you could go to work without getting COVID and dying, right? Or you have nothing's foolproof, but I got vaccine for influenza and I still got influenza. I almost died from influenza. I suffer from influenza for like 3 weeks or more. I got influenza that it developed into acute bacterial bronchitis. That could have developed into pneumonia. I could have died from it. And I had a vaccine. I had flu vaccine. I still got it. Vaccine doesn't protect you 100%. Every year, people who have flu vaccine get that vaccine. A lot of people. And so nothing is foolproof in life. So even if we get vaccines in December, doesn't mean it's going to protect you from COVID-19 100%. You still have to be careful. You still have to wear a mask. Even though you get vaccinated, you still have to wear so nothing changes in your life. If there is no vaccine, you still have to wear a mask. When there is a vaccine, you still have to wear a mask because you can still get it with the vaccine. No vaccine is 100% foolproof. You can't flaunt it and talk to everybody like there's no virus contagion going on because you'll get it even with a vaccine. Yeah. But anyway, you're lucky because now I'm going to bring to you an exotic world that I have experienced in England. Rachel Saunders, she's a beautiful woman from Belfast, Northern Ireland. I think she's royalty, like she's related with the Queen. But anyway, yeah, she's beautiful, isn't she? So I invited her. She came as my date, and there are some student leaders there in the center photo. I took that photo with Rachel there. The girl in the sky blue top, I think it was a Marshall Scholar or Gates Scholar. She was a Bill Gates Scholar. So Bill Gates has scholarship that's like 3-year full scholarship for doing PhD at Cambridge. And it's called Gates Scholarship. And she was a Gates Scholar. She was American. And so you have English people there, other Europeans. Rachel, you see Rachel walking in my neighborhood. Yeah, and I set up a nice little soiree, table in my apartment. You see that with the, yeah, yeah, nice, cozy, romantic kind of a. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, but Rachel's beautiful. Yeah, I'm sure I would have been very happy had I been married to her. But anyway, some things happen, some things don't. What can you do, right? I'm still single. Yeah, I've never been married. Yeah, I've been busy like becoming the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. Lucky for you, but obviously I prefer to have been married with like 10 kids or something. But I trust God. I'm sure God will send me somebody amazing. I still, date. My dating range is still 18 to 26. It's always been that way since I was 18. So that's not changed. And it will probably never change until I get married. Because once you get married, whoever you marry, you grow old together with. It doesn't matter. So I have no problem marrying an adult woman. Any woman above 18 is an adult woman. She has, she can decide her own destiny. She doesn't need her mother's and father's permission to get married. Obviously, I want her to have mother and father's permission to get married, but if she's in love and she falls in love and she gets married, her new family is her husband and her kids, right? And so, yeah, I love to have the parents' blessing, but that's not so important to me because at the end of the day, the most important thing is you and your wife and your kids, right? And so if the woman loves me and I love her, we'll get married. Obviously, she should be a Christian. Doesn't matter if she's 18 or 19 or 20 or 25. Yeah, if she loves me and I love her and we agree to get married, that's all that matters. Start a good Christian family, have children, what? As long as we both of our Christians, she's over 18, there's no problem. What problem is there? So, yeah, and she doesn't have to get her parents' permission. She's adult. She's not a child. She's over 18. And so when you're over 18, you got to think about yourself as an adult, right? Because if you don't think about yourself as an adult, you may not get respect that you should get as an adult, right? And I respect all women over 18 as adults. What century are people living in? This is year 2020. You should respect all women who's over 18 as adults. You shouldn't treat them like little children, like they can't make their own decisions, like they have, they're helpless. You can't think like that. This is year 2020, but you have all these liberal progressives trying to treat 18-year-old women like little girls. It's ridiculous. You see that all over the place, right? 18-year-old women are women. They should be treated and respected like women. And so, and I do. I respect everybody over 18 as adults. And so I have no problem marrying an 18-year-old. A lot of people get married in college. There's nothing wrong with that. You could get married as a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior if you love someone. Don't tell, don't let anybody tell you can't get married just because you're in college. Well, you're going to throw away the love of your life because your parents tell you to, because your society tells you to. You're an adult. You're over 18. If you love somebody, as a 19-year-old sophomore in college, you get married. Why not? It's your life. Your parents are not living your life. You're living your life. We're going to throw away the love of your life and then marry somebody you don't really love because you miss the love of your life. What a loser are you, right? So for me, I don't do that. Like if I love somebody, I tell them. If they reject me, then I move on. Life is too short to be fixated on the past, right? But you should give love a chance. And then love is both ways, right? You love the girl has to love you back. When that exists, you have a deal. When that doesn't exist, you don't have a deal. You know what I'm saying? And so life is like that. But obviously, if you love someone, you have to let them know. And then they can reject you. That's their free choice. You got to respect their decision. They're adults, so you got to respect their decision, right? So, but, um, but, obviously you have to live your life in a way that that gives you happiness in life, right? I mean, your biological tick clock is ticking at age 26. You're biologically degenerating, right? Right? Women over 30 have higher chance of getting children with birth defects. That's just science. I'm not making this up. Women over 30 have higher chance of having children who will be going to special education, may have heart defect, they may have autism, they may have ADHD. The best time to have children is between 18 to 26. That's like the best time to have children, right? If you want to give your children the best chance at survival in life, best chance of being born without birth defects, then have children around, 18 to 26, 28, right? Because once you pass 30, chance that your child will have some kind of birth defect, it dramatically increases because your ovum, your eggs are aging inside your womb, right? Women women have 100% of the eggs that they're going to have until they die in their womb. And they age with the woman. And that's why you need to have children between 18 to 26 because your egg is 18 years old. And when you're 26, your egg is like 26 years old. But when you're 35, your egg is 35 years old. That's why there's more chance of things going wrong with your egg at age 35. This is a science. I'm just telling you what science tells me, right? I'm not trying to like hurt your feelings, but you need to know. If you're an 18-year-old woman or 19-year-old woman who doesn't study nursing or medicine or biology, you may not know. Even if you study biology, you may not really think about this reality in a serious way. When you're 18, your egg is 18. When you're 26, your egg is 26. And once you pass age 30, there's higher chance things will go wrong. So why would you want to wait until 36 to have your first child? Doesn't make sense. Your first child will be somewhere between 18 to 24, I would argue. Yeah. At the latest, you should get married by the time you graduate from high school, 22. I mean, if you want your children to be born healthy without any birth defects, and even then, you may have some birth defects because of genetics. You may not have perfect genes, but older you are, the same child. If your child was born from a 20-year-old egg, your child might not have developed the defects that she developed at because you had your first child at age 35. Why would you want to do that to your child? Doesn't make sense. You cannot play God. We are human beings created, so our eggs mature. You That's a science. You cannot turn back the clock. Just you cannot turn back the clock. And so it's science. That's why I'm speaking to everyone, but I'm trying to help 18, 19, 20-year-olds out right now. I don't want you to lose out on the precious gift of happy marriage, sacrament of holy matrimony, forming a good family, having children without autism or ADHD because you had them before your age 26. And anything else can wait. Your graduate school can wait after marriage. You could do that online now. You could do 100% of graduate programs online now. I mean, you could have 4 children and just work on your master's classes between breastfeeding. That's possible now. You don't have to physically go to a campus. There are a lot of places where you could, have, online masters, online doctorate degrees, bachelors. So why not get married at 18 or 19? You could have your children. You could finish your bachelor's online. I mean, geez, what's more important, forming a happy family? At the end of the day, children are all you have. The greatest joy for a woman, most mothers say, is that having their children. Ask your mom, what is your greatest joy? She'll tell you, having you was my greatest joy. So you as a woman at age 18 or 20, why would you want to miss out on that joy? Why? Why would you want to miss out on that? So I want to help you. I want you to be happy. If you're like 18-year-old adult watching this show, I want you to be happy. So if you have someone you love right now and he loves you back, there's no problem with you getting married at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. At the latest, you get married by 26, but ideally, you're married by the time you're 22 or 23, right? I mean, you want to be able to play stuff with your kids, and, you want to be able to keep up. When you have kids, when you're 22, you could lose sleep, and it doesn't affect you. Things are different when you're like 35 or 40 and have a kid and you're losing sleep. Yeah, so I would recommend everybody watching now who's over 18, try to get married before you're like 24. If you're a woman, try to get married before you're 22, because biological clock is ticking. And just like your mom says, having you was the greatest joy in her life. Do not miss out on that joy. The greatest joy in your life will be having your children and seeing them grow to be good Christians. Why would you want to miss out on that? What's more important than that? For men too. Why would you want to miss out on being a father? Doesn't make sense. Yeah. So yeah, so I would recommend that. And maybe, you know, I mean, obviously, God has brought me to this point where I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. I'm becoming a clinical nurse leader to help people. So in a sense, God has kind of led me here. Um, but I had free will. Maybe I should have worked harder to get married to like beautiful women like Rachel Saunders. You know, but so I'm sharing with you my life and thoughts that I have that I think will help you. And I think you should seriously think about these. Obviously, at the end, you make your own decision in your life. But I don't want you to miss out on any happiness that you could have. Your first love is the greatest love. Like, had I married Alice Shim Jiyoungi, when I was 17, when I fell in love with her, when she fell in love with me, I'm sure I'd be very, very happy. Marrying your first love, there's nothing more beautiful than that. You know, first love, because it's pure, and that's the love that you live with the rest of your life. It's not corrupted by like 5, 6 different girlfriends, right? It's like first real love. Yeah, because what, less than 1% find true love after dating many, many women. I mean, they'll tell you and lie to you, but I'm talking about the truth, actual truth. Less than 1% of people who date multiple people will end up marrying people they're in love with. I mean, they may be in love with, in quotation mark, but I'm talking about like genuine, true love. Generally, the first love is the genuine, true love, and that generally happens in high school or college, and that's why you should marry a high school sweetheart or a college sweetheart, because after that, it's all kind of second rate love, third rate love. Yeah. So yeah. So marry your first love, right? There's nothing more valuable than that. Your parents will never tell you if they regret it, but I talked to a lot of people. A lot of people that I talked to said they say they should have married that college sweetheart or high school sweetheart. They all regret it. Like men talking, honestly among men. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't met any guy who said, "Oh, I'm so happy that I didn't marry my first true girlfriend that I've truly loved in high school." I mean, everyone regrets it. Even though they're happily married, they regret it. They regret not having married the first love. Yeah, I mean, like everybody I've talked to, I've never met anyone, who honestly said, "Oh, I'm so much happier, that I married this woman, that I'm been married for 40 years, and I married my first love in my life." I've never heard anybody say that. So, because most people know, like, they missed the true first love. I mean, first love that is true and genuine, nothing compares to that. You know, it's downhill after that. That's why, you know, you should marry your first love, whether it's in high school or in college. Yeah. Anyway, I hope I want to make you happy, bring happiness to your life. So I want to share things that's going to make you happy. Because other people are not sharing these things with you. Have you heard what I told you now from anyone else? Don't you think you needed to hear that? Whether you decide to marry your high school sweetheart or college sweetheart or not, don't you think you needed to hear that? Of course you did. This is why COVID-19 Update by Heerak is such a great show. I'm going to tell you things that you should have heard from your dad. But America is so broken with 50% people getting divorced. Your divorced father is never going to tell you the truth. I told you. Because whatever he tells you, you're going to tell your mom, and your mom's going to like use that as a weapon against your dad. So a divorced father will never tell the truth to their daughter. They won't, because of the ongoing battle between the ex-wife and him. Yeah, so you're never going to get the truth. So I need to tell you the truth because you need to hear the truth. Because the truth will set you free. Your happiness hinges on it. That's why. So you need to watch this show every day because I give you truth, not only about COVID, but about life. And you need these truth to be happy. As you know, you have the right to liberty, life, and pursuit of happiness. How are you going to pursue happiness if you don't know how to do it? That's why this COVID-19 update by Heerak is important. Reject environmentalism because you will live to regret it. Reject environmentalism. It's okay. We could live with fossil fuel. It's okay. The nature finds a way to correct itself. You don't have to worry about fossil fuel because God is the creator and God will make sure the world doesn't end because he's the creator. So let God worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, you could do your part to recycle and stuff like that, but you don't have to dedicate your life to environmentalism. It's a waste of life. Dedicate yourself to becoming a nurse, treating people. Dedicate yourself to becoming a medical doctor. Dedicate yourself becoming an engineer, building bridges that's going to help people. Do something constructive with your life. Environmentalists, they're useless people. They're useless people, environmentalists. They do nothing good for anyone. They don't change the world for the better. Yeah, stop being an environmentalist if you are one, because you're wasting your life. Better for you to become a medical doctor, save some lives. You can see the results of your work. You're actually saving people's lives. Environmentalists, they do nothing. What is that? I mean, show me an environmentalist. I show you that nothing that environmentalist has done for 40 years. They have done nothing. Environmentalists are useless people in the world. Don't be an environmentalist. Yeah, do your part, recycling and stuff like that. But you know, you should not be an environmentalist. You should do something good with your life, like saving lives, building bridges, building buildings, build something. Yeah, help people. And so I hope this show was helpful, and I hope that your life is headed toward happiness as a result of my show. And yeah, I mean, I'm here to help you. So help me get on that ballot on November 3rd, 2020, so I could help you better in U.S. Congress. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I enjoyed this time together with you. And I hope that you will come back tomorrow and get information you need to survive COVID-19. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So I hope that you will be well and that your family will be well too. See you tomorrow. Bye.